the Happy Afloat podcast, tales of family adventures at sea.
Hello and welcome. I am Jason, the skipper of Happy Afloat. Come and meet my motley crew. Leon.
Hello, scurvy crew.
Conrad.
Ahoy there, shipmates.
And my lovely wife, Sarah.
Hello. If you are new to the podcast, welcome aboard.
But don't start here.
If you want to follow this sailing adventure from the beginning,
Scroll down until you get to episode 13.
which is the beginning of this story.
If you are interested in the whys and hows of family sailing, jump into your TARDIS and head to the distant past that is episode 2 of Why Go Family Sailing.
Settle down.
And we'll begin.
In this episode,
We visit Oban.
Eat lots of seafood.
And prepare to head north.
More tales from our summer adventure.
okay, where did we get to last time?
We had spent the night anchored in Ardmucknish Bay.
And the next day's plan was to visit Oban.
Well, we had a shed load of jobs to do.
Right, where are we going to today?
Oban! So we can go and collect parcels, shopping.
That's a big city.
Yeah, bright lights, big city. Supermarkets. Because the cupboards are bare of fresh food. Oh, we've got enough pasta and nuts to feed an army. And chocolate. At least it means we haven't got to carry lots of heavy stuff.
Starting the engine.
To get a feel of what might be happening in Oban during our visit,
We tuned our portable radio to a local radio station.
Oban FM
our lasting memory of the station,
is the constant advertising.
Of the Kebabish Curry House.
the kebab and curry all in one. We also heard on the radio that Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, had recently visited the Oban Chocolate Company.
More on the Oban Chocolate Company later.
Oban was less than 6 nautical miles away, and we would be passing Dunstafnage Marina on the way.
Listeners of the last episode will remember that we tried to purchase fuel there the previous day.
And had failed miserably.
Should we go back and try again?
We decided to skip Dunstafnage to maximise our time in Oban.
The fuel situation could wait until another day.
There was no wind, so the iron sail was started for the short distance to Oban.
Do you know what an iron sail is?
Engine.
And on the approach, we listened to the VHF for local navigation traffic.
AKA the ferry movements.
Oban is a main hub for the Calmac ferries. It's busy, and ferries definitely have the right of way in Oban Bay.
Ferries going to locations all over the west coast of Scotland. Leave by the North Channel.
And it's a bit of a bottleneck where you don't want to be on the wrong side of a fast-moving Calmac ferry.
Or the embarrassment of being on the receiving end of 5 blasts of the horn from an angry ferry skipper.
We got lucky with the timings and nipped into the bay between the arriving and departing ships.
While we have a fondness for going to the marina at Kerrera, the island opposite Oban town,
This time we opted to stop at the North Pier pontoons, which are located right by the town centre.
Which would make the provisioning runs much easier.
Now, there is a strategy for which days you should visit the North Pier pontoons. What would that be, Sarah?
Okay, so the pontoons are quite extensively used by charter boats, we've discovered, and sort of Friday, Saturday, Sunday are quite busy as changeover days. So if you want to get a berth on the pontoon as a visitor, your best bet is to arrive on a Monday to Thursday. You can only stay 3 nights at the North Pier pontoons before they expect you to leave.
So, if you need longer in Oban, Kerala Marina is just on the other side of the bay.
First things first, it was time to freshen up and take a shower.
It's North Pier Pontoon Facility Review time. Okay, what do we think?
I like it. They've got a huge shower block. Well, it's not a huge shower block. They've just got huge shower cubicles. I think they've only got 3, 4.
Yep, 3 or 4. But they are unisex ones, aren't they? So everyone piles in there.
And they've got lockers in the changing rooms. It reminds me a bit of like a gym changing room. So they've got like a sort of bench area in there. They've got hair dryers. They've got mirrors. They've got plug points. They're really nice.
Yeah, it's a very nice and clean setup.
Yeah, I think there's even piped music as well.
Did you hear any music in the showers, Leon?
No.
Oh, must be outside.
Maybe it was Leon singing.
I think it's maybe bagpipes and some playing outside.
Oh, you think that's what it is? It was bagpipes from outside.
But the showers are free. Well, they're included in your fee that you pay to berth.
Yeah, you're not putting £1 into a meter,
No.
which is quite a common feature of the west coast of Scotland.
Yeah.
Is you turn into a shower and you have to keep feeding pounds into the thing.
And it's on a timer. And the shower, the meter box is on the outside of the shower cubicle. So you have to have games of knowing how long you're going to take on a shower and put your coins in and then hope for the best.
And they're very short timers as well.
But they vary, don't they? Somewhere they were 4-minute showers. Some places give you about 7 or 8 minutes.
2 minutes was the shortest we ever got.
Now with the price of sort of energy going through the roof, you probably sort of be putting £5 notes into the thing.
Yeah.
What if you accidentally pulled out a £20 note or something and put it in?
Yeah, you probably get a 2-minute shower for that. There's no other facilities there. It's just a shower block and
Marina office.
The 2 toilets.
There's 2 toilets as well if you want to use those, yeah. Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, it's a nice big building and it's very clean. There's always cleaning there. It's noisy as marinas go because it is right next to the road into Oban. Like by Scottish marinas, it's the noisiest we've ever been to, whereas Kerala is very quiet in comparison.
And the electricity's free.
Oh, yes, the berthing includes electricity, but then there's not much else.
But what's the most important thing that they don't have?
There isn't an on-site laundry, which is very disappointing when you've got a family of 4 and a lot of smelly clothes.
As Chief Laundry Officer, Mum had done some research on local laundrettes.
The plan was to arrange a service wash. Although more expensive, it would free up our time.
We didn't want to lose Mum for the best part of the day, stuck in a laundrette.
With only our smalls spinning around for entertainment.
Do you know what smalls are?
Nope.
Your pants.
What about socks?
Well, it's normally socks and pants. I went in search of my first choice. Having been to Oban a few times in the past, I thought I knew where I was heading.
Turns out Mum was wrong and got herself lost.
Without her phone and Google Maps, she was gone for ages.
Seriously, who goes out without their phone these days?
After inquiring at a corner shop, I got directions and made my way to the laundrette.
But their prices were eye-watering.
Back to base I went, and after a chat and recommendation from the marina staff, I ventured out again in search of a new laundrette.
And they could offer a same-day service wash.
Or, in our case, washes.
As we had a lot of laundry.
All at a sensible price and no need to waste my time going to and fro for hours on end.
A shout out to the Mandarin Laundry, who are really close to the transit marina.
Very polite, and they returned all our laundries later the same day, smelling nice and clean.
How much was it?
I think it was about £15, which was a total bargain.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's about the equivalent of doing 3 loads at most marinas, like a wash and dry. And it basically took me about 20 minutes in total, 10 minutes there and 10 minutes back again.
Well, the walking bit, not the actual waiting around.
Yeah, I didn't wait around. It was lovely. And it actually came back dry. You didn't have to sort of filter through the laundry to find which bits were really dry and which bits were sort of mediocre. I'm all for a service wash in the future.
At the marina, we relieved the marina staff of a few parcels.
That were hogging their space in the office.
It was like Christmas.
In July.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Back on the boat, we opened up our goodies.
We had a splicing tool.
Barbecue spares.
Being a lid to replace the one that was now sitting on the bottom of Loch Ness.
And a pizza stone for our cob barbecue.
There was no time to play with our new toys.
As we needed to crack on with the domestic chores.
But not before we had a bite to eat.
Yes, never go to a supermarket on an empty stomach.
We made a pilgrimage to our favourite lunch spot in Oban.
The Oban Seafood Hut at Calmac Pier.
AKA the Green Hut.
It's Oban's Seafood Hut review time. Okay, what do we think?
Well, I had a hot smoked salmon sandwich and their prawn and mayonnaise sandwich.
Didn't you go halves with Dad?
Yes, I did.
Were they nice?
I wasn't so sure about having mayonnaise until I tried it.
And
It was very nice.
how was the salmon?
It was even better.
When they say hot smoked salmon sandwich, is it actually like a warm sandwich or is it hot as in spicy?
Neither.
Oh, what is it then?
It's the process they use for smoking the salmon. So if you have hot smoked, it actually cooks the salmon, which is why it looks like
Cooked salmon.
cooked salmon. But it is jolly delicious, isn't it, Leo?
Yes, it is.
So, Sarah, what did you have?
I had some mussels, but actually their mussels are very nice and they're quite big. Delicious. Highly recommended. And now I'm feeling quite hungry. Talking about food.
It's very busy as well.
It is. It's very popular. They just have a little bench there to eat from, don't they? It's not...
They've got a couple of tables and a bench.
They...
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
two big tables they have out there. Yeah, top spot. Definitely recommend it.
Full stomachs gave us energy for the next challenge.
Provisioning.
The cupboards were bare and required replenishment with nosh.
Oban is a top spot and our favourite for provisioning on the west coast of Scotland.
There is a good selection of supermarkets and DIY stores all within walking distance.
There's a Tesco, Aldi, Lidl, Screwfix, Homebase and Argos. They're all close by on a mini retail estate.
And plenty of independent retailers in the town centre too.
We popped into Homebase in search of an essential accessory for our new barbecue pizza stone.
A pizza peel.
We were embarking on a new level in yacht cuisine.
Indeed.
Jason took a trip to Screwfix. He loves a trip to Screwfix.
What did you buy, Dad?
A replacement torch for the one at the bottom of Loch Ness and 3 metres of 20mm conduit tubing.
3 meters of conduit tubing. What was that for?
Well, Leon, I'm glad you asked. It was for a poo stick.
A poo stick?
Yes. So if anyone's having their lunch at the moment, it's probably best to skip this bit or put it on pause because it's holding tank talk time. We have a gravity-fed holding tank and occasionally it would block. And the way that you unblock it is from the outside down by the seacock is to blow air into the seacock, which then blows into the holding tank, which then dislodges anything that's blocking the hose from the holding tank to the seacock, and then out it all rushes. Now, the problem with the setup is obviously you have to get down to the seacock. And in the past, when we've unblocked it from we've got into the dinghy and jammed a hose into it. So we decided we'd make a big long poo stick. We could just put it down into the water, put it into the skin fitting, blow air into it with a dinghy pump from the deck.
It's basically like a big long pipe in a sort of J shape, isn't it? The bottom end of the curvy end is the bit that goes near the waterline into the skin fitting, and the top end is where we attach the dinghy pump to blow the air in.
But we haven't had a blockage since we changed the seacock and hose anyway,
No.
so it might actually be completely redundant.
It could be.
But we're carrying it around anyway, and because it's so long, we have to strap it underneath the solar panels.
Yeah.
But anyway, as I was making this up, the harbour master came along and asked me what I was doing with this stick. So I sort of told him, and he didn't look terribly impressed.
Oh dear.
Why?
Well, I think he thought I was trying to unblock the holding tank in his little marina. Obviously, I wasn't. I was just testing to make sure it was in the right
You
position.
should have told him that bit then.
Well, to be honest, I didn't want to go into lots of detail about holding tanks, and I'm not really emptying the holding tank, and I'm just testing something for a holding tank, and that just get into more
Confusion.
Yeah.
confusion, in-depth talk about holding tanks, which is what I was trying to avoid.
So, poo stick sorted. We made it to the supermarkets.
And after loading up our backpacks with as much as we could carry,
We headed back to the mothership.
The marina appeared to have gotten rather busy in our absence.
It turned out that most of the arriving boats were getting ready for the annual Round Mull yacht race.
Which would be starting the first leg of the race from Oban to Tobermory the next day.
With so many boats heading for Tobermory, which was our next destination,
we postponed our plans.
As we didn't want to have to fight for space in the harbour there.
The following day was a bit of a repetition of the day before.
It was time for another trip to the supermarkets.
wasn't it 2 trips to the shops?
Yes, but another trip to the seafood hut did also feature between shopping trips.
And on the final way back to the mothership,
We paid a visit to our favourite ice cream parlour.
It's the Pokey Hats Review. Why do you like the ice cream at the Pokey Hat, Leon?
because they make it themselves, and because it's of a good quality.
So what flavour did you have?
Coconut and coffee.
Coconut and coffee. Oh.
It's a nice combination. Coffee on top.
Was that 2 different types of ice
Yes.
cream? Yeah, as a combination rather than a combined.
Conrad, what do you think of the Pokey Hat?
Absolutely brilliant.
Why is it brilliant?
Because of the fact there are big portions, a brilliant selection of flavours, with numerous flavours I wouldn't have even expected in ice cream.
Have you got an example?
Pistachio.
What? Pistachio is a classic ice
Is
cream
it?
flavour.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
I thought you were going to say something like curry flavour. So the flavour you didn't expect is a classic ice cream flavour.
I've never seen pistachio ice cream
It's the
before.
green one. So what flavour do you have, Conrad?
Probably raspberry ripple?
Were you surprised they had raspberry ripple there? What other surprising flavours did they have then?
Didn't they have rum and raisin for you, Dad?
I didn't go. I was sent back to the boat to make the poo stick. Sarah, what flavour did you have?
I'm guessing I had salted caramel.
So, Sarah, why do you rate the Pokey Hat as the best ice cream parlour in the UK?
They do nice big waffle cones and very generous portions.
Leon, marks out of 10 for the Pokey Hat.
10 out of 10.
Conrad.
11 out of 10.
Sarah, marks out of 10.
10. A 10 from me. Once we had dropped off our newly purchased supplies,
It was time to squeeze in yet another food-orientated excursion.
This time to the fantastic Oban Chocolate Company.
Who makes some seriously tasty chocolates.
it's all handmade artisan chocolate, and we would highly recommend a trip to their chocolate shop.
Which is perhaps a little too conveniently located directly behind the North Pier pontoons.
Our whirlwind tour of Oban town was coming to an end.
Happy Afloat was full of food and sitting lower in the water.
We were ready for the next phase of our adventure.
Which was
We wanted to see some whales.
Mum and Dad have been promising us whale sightings for years.
the first time Jason and I sailed in Scottish waters as a couple. They were everywhere.
But we had not seen any on the last 2 UK circumnavigations.
This time, failure was not an option. We would be heading north until we saw something whale-like.
Or until we ran out of Scotland.
It was time to escape the crowds.
And head over to Ottimore Bay on the northwest side of Kerrera.
It's only a mile from Oban, so we motored over and dropped the hook.
There's a seal colony that lives in the area, so there's always seals to spot.
And where there are seals, there would logically be fish, or maybe not.
Because we haven't caught any fish in this anchorage yet.
Time to have a go with the new barbecue pizza stone.
We love homemade pizza.
But our boat oven takes forever to cook them.
Which is where our Cobb barbecue shines.
The barbecue pizzas were a tasty triumph. Our lives had been changed forever.
Never again would we be satisfied with just a standard oven pizza.
with our freezer slowly emptying over the course of the voyage.
There was enough space to make some ice cubes.
So the grown-ups could have grown-up drinks. You can't beat a nice cold G&T.
That was the first time we've ever had ice in a drink on any of our boats.
Yeah, what a luxury.
I don't remember going on anyone else's boat and having ice.
It's a very grown-up thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Cold drinks.
I know. Isn't it?
And we had ice pole lollies.
That night, we had a go with the splicing kit.
How did that go, Sarah?
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm going to make a career out of splicing ropes, put it that way. Well, my post-it note instructions were kind of like, I could kind of get my head round them, but actually I didn't have a clue what they meant. I mean, there was... There was a logic in what I'd written down that the guy from Jimmy Green had explained to me, but I actually couldn't figure out how on earth you did what it was telling me to do.
Just as well, it came with some instructions.
They were about as clear as mud, weren't they?
Yeah. You would have thought this thing was quite expensive for what it is.
Yeah.
And the instructions were a black and white photocopy.
It needed to be broken down to a lot more detail for the complete novice that I am. I'd say leave it to the professionals and maybe learn. I'd love to learn how to do it. But yeah, maybe when I've got more time and more patience and someone who knows what to do to show me, maybe the splicing instructions would become clearer after a good night's sleep and a little less wine.
But that is a story for another time. Okay, anything else Oban related?
It's touristy, isn't it?
Well, it's busy and full of tourists, but I don't think Oban feels like a touristy place.
No.
And I think it's because the tourists are usually jumping onto ferries going elsewhere.
Actually, that's a good point.
Because it's not like there's lots of shops selling touristy tat.
It's only the couple.
Exactly.
Just normal small town. It's not actually that big.
No, the population's only about 8,000.
It's, yeah. And it doesn't come across as particularly big.
No, not at all.
But it does have a few tourist attractions, doesn't it? You've got a distillery, obviously.
Yes, Oban Distillery.
Which we visited in the past.
Yeah, a long time ago now.
There's a couple of little museums, aren't there? We went to, was it the War and Peace Museum or something we went to?
Yes.
That was a previous trip.
And that's just behind the pontoons as well.
Yeah, just by the chocolate shop.
Mm-hmm.
There's that McCaig's Tower, which is a sort of amphitheatre type looking.
It's more of a folly at the top of the hill, isn't it?
That's the word, yeah, at the top of the hill. It's got nice views from there, and you can take nice photos like with the through the arches of the views, can't you?
Yeah, but literally it's been built to encourage you to walk to the top hill. There's no real purpose behind it.
No. Actually, it's a nice walk up to the top of the hill as well, isn't
Quite
it?
steep.
Yeah. It's good to have a bit of exercise.
Exactly, especially after you've had all that chocolate. Yeah, if you're going to go to Oban, there is a downloadable PDF guide for the actual bay for leisure boat users, because you need to make sure you stick to the right side of the bay, keep out of the main fairways, avoid the ferries, and there's like recommended routes. So if you go to the Oban Harbour website, you can download this.
It's a pilotage map, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and it's also got a few contact numbers and other useful bits of detail on there as well. So it's definitely worth downloading from the Oban Harbour website. Anything else about Oban? There's Weatherspoons there.
Oh, there is, isn't there?
Corrie of Wrekin.
Yeah, the Corrie of Wrekin. But yeah, if you want a cheap family feed at Weatherspoons.
They have got a nice outside eating area there.
Yeah, it's quite a big one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, so that's Oban.
So do we rate Oban as a destination to visit by boat?
Yes.
Yes, I do. 10 out of 10 again.
10 out of 10 for Oban?
Yes.
Excellent.
Would you go back again?
You don't miss the chocolate shop.
Or the Pokey Hat.
Or the seafood hut.
Worth going there just for those alone.
Yeah.
We love feedback.
Thank you to all our lovely listeners, especially those that have left a message or a review.
Thank you, Simon, for the 5-star iTunes review.
Thank you, Jason, for the Facebook messages and the 5-star Spotify rating. We hope you get your boat back into the water soon.
Thank you to the Happy and the Horters for the iTunes review. Thank you, Nanny and Grandad.
If you have any questions, send an email or a posting on Facebook. All relevant links are on the website happyafloat.com.
If you would like to help us grow, spread the word.
And don't forget to follow and rate us in your favourite podcast app.
In fact, do it now. Pause the audio and post a review. We'll wait. You're back. See? That wasn't so bad. And now you'll feel good about yourself.
happyafloat.com.
Next time aboard Happy Afloat.
We sail further north than ever before.
Until next time, happy sailing.